Hey guys, welcome back, and thanks for joining us here at Totally Booked Readers. My name is Alyssa.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Hope. We're three best friends with a passion for reading who enjoy getting together to talk about all kinds of books.
We're just here for the vibes, the good, the bad, and the spicy.
So stick around for the rest of this episode to get an update on our lives, what we've been reading, and what has been keeping us totally booked. I want to check in with you, Hope, because, we really haven't talked at all maybe in the past couple weeks. And, I know that you went out of town a bit. There were a couple big things going on for you. So tell us about your trip.
Yeah, it's we've checked in, randomly here and there, how's things going, but haven't really sat down and chatted and had these deep conversations. Not that this is going to be deep, but I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh.
My cousins got married, and when I was telling everybody at work and all my friends and stuff going to Vegas for a wedding, I'm like, it wasn't a Elvis chapel wedding or anything. We just celebrated on the strip. But we went to Red Rock Canyons. It was about 45 minutes away from the strip, and we drove out up into the mountains, and it was beautiful backdrop, beautiful scenery. My dad actually performed the ceremony for them. But while we were there in the mountains, it started snowing on us, and nobody was dressed for the weather. Everyone was in bridesmaids dresses and expecting not for snow. So we literally froze to death.
Oh gosh.
Well,
No one was expecting it.
That sounds so beautiful, pal. But for those listening, we are from Texas.
Yeah.
We're Southern gals. So snow is not something we prepare for.
Not
ever.
at all. No. I didn't even have on a pair of tights or leggings underneath, and my dress was a little shorter than knee length. I was freezing. My legs were numb. My hands, I thought I was gonna lose my fingers or my ears, all the jewelry, my earrings that I have, my piercings. I thought my ears were gonna fall off at one point, but
That's so dramatic and such a Texan thing to say, I would think.
I have to add, if I had a nickel for every episode Hope mentions losing a finger, I'd only have 2 nickels, but it's weird it happened twice.
Yeah.
It's growing out all wonky. There's a divot in it. And for those of you listening who missed, that was from our Onyx Storm episode. I slammed my pointer finger in my car door and almost lost a fingernail. So we're gonna keep track of how many times I almost lose a finger, I guess.
And that was 2 months ago, and it's still on the radar.
Still growing out for sure.
We'll see. Maybe we'll make it to a whole hand.
Who knows?
But it was a beautiful wedding in Vegas. She wore a pink wedding dress, and it was an absolutely beautiful ceremony. Thankfully, it was short and sweet. If it was any longer, we would have died.
How was your dad's officiating? Was it good?
At one point, we couldn't tell if he was crying or just really, really cold. So we asked him later, and he was just really, really cold. None of us were built for that. But Tatiana and Cody is my cousin, and Tatiana is his wife now, and they loved it. It was perfect. The pictures turned out beautiful. The backdrop was perfect. And then we went to family dinner, and we got to go play and gamble, and I played my first table game, which was fun. We played Pai Gow with my aunt. Just had lots of fun there in Vegas. I kind of splurged a little bit and brought a little extra gambling money since it was the week after my birthday, so I kind of celebrated hard for my birthday too.
Well, is this where you announced to us that you're a millionaire and you're buying a boat for us to use?
I think that would have been something I would have checked in a little sooner for than now.
Oh, we don't know. We thought you might want to just save it for the Yap and Recap.
I thought it was gonna be
I-
a surprise.
No, I came back with a couple $100 extra than what I brought, but nothing too fancy.
Well,
Well,
that does sound like a fun time. I'm glad that you had a good time.
congrats to the newlyweds.
Yes, congrats.
It was a whirlwind trip for sure. You always need a vacation from Vegas, but I didn't get one. Came back home like 2 days later after being back home. My cousin, a different cousin, had to have emergency gallbladder surgery. Ended up having to go to her house and dog sit for them while she was in the hospital. It's just been nonstop. I'm telling you, I've had something
Dear.
every single day since the last time we met to record, and I just feel like I haven't caught up with anything.
That's so stressful, pal. I'm sorry. Is your cousin doing better now that her gallbladder was removed?
She's doing better. Yeah. I went and checked on her at the house when she got back from the hospital, and she was a little sore, but definitely feeling better.
That's good.
I would say that is good to hear. I didn't even know that. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So, see, we haven't talked much.
What about you, Alyssa? What's been going on for you?
Well, not a whole lot, honestly. Just taking life by the horns. I don't know. I started a new job, so that's been a little bit stressful.
Are you
Doing like
through
the
with your
training.
I was about to ask if you were through with your training.
No, it's a very long training. I have to make sure I know how to do everything. And I started therapy.
Woo!
I know.
Yay!
I need to, not for the books you read, right?
Not for the books you read.
No, that hasn't been a topic of conversation yet. She might try to lock me away.
Gosh.
Just kidding. But yeah, I started therapy, which is fun. Yay, mental health. I do feel like a psycho in my therapy sessions.
Oh God. Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I thought I was going to have the opposite problem. I thought I was going to sit there like a bump on a log and just be like, okay, I'm in therapy, it counts, right?
Yeah, like
But
have nothing to talk about.
yeah, but I think I talk from like the second she gets on to the screen to like the second we log off. Like I talk and 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 cry.
I think that's one of the main reasons that's holding me back from therapy is because I think I'll have nothing to talk about.
Well, it
But
sounds like Alyssa was surprised, so maybe that would
Yeah.
surprise you too.
It's like I popped a cork and it won't stop coming out.
Well, I'm glad you can willingly and freely share. Just let
Yes.
it be, there's no judgment.
Yes, it's nice. I will say I just feel crazy. I feel like I contradict myself. Like I'll be telling her one thing and I'll be like blah 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 blah. And then I'll be like, "Yeah, I hate crying. I don't really cry very often. Like it's not really a release for me." And then like the next 10 minutes I'm like sobbing. And she's like, "It seems like it's a release."
Yeah, or something's going to happen and then 3 sessions down the line she's going to bring it back up and you're like, oh, why are you like keeping tabs? Why are you remembering these things?
She gave me
I think
homework
that's
to
her
do.
job. Oh,
She gave me homework
What was
to
your
do and I was
homework?
shocked. It had to do with anxiety. So, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Okay. Yeah, you
But
got to keep some things to yourself.
I had a little bit of a homework to do and it worked, I think. So, we'll talk about it next session, I guess.
I guess so. Well, I'm glad that it's moving for you. Like you're past the first session, you're just diving in.
Mhm.
That makes me so giddy.
it definitely makes me more open. I know Kiara's been telling me to try therapy for forever, but now that somebody else has some experience with it, I think I might I didn't want to be the first one to dip my toe in it, you know?
Yeah.
Alyssa
So-
took the
No.
plunge for us.
So I was the
Proud of you.
sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
Guy, technically I was.
Yeah, technically Kiara was.
My therapy has been going great as well.
But like
but
Kiara's like the most emotionally stable and mature one of our friend
True.
group. So like the
True.
fact that she's in therapy, we're like, yeah, like you're so emotionally like mature. That makes sense that you're in therapy. The rest of us were like, we don't need therapy. Fuck therapy.
And then I'm over here like, I feel like that's counterproductive. Like that's not the mindset.
Like
to go
she
into
uses
it with.
she uses words like counterproductive.
Yeah.
That's some therapy
Thanks,
lingo.
guys.
I get stressed. I feel anxious, whatever. I'm like, I'll go take a nap. I'll read a book. It's whatever. It's not good.
I would say those are, you're supposed to be able to relax and decompress. So but I have a great time in therapy, and somehow I convinced Alyssa to try it out, and not like a peer pressuring way, obviously. It was just like, hey, if you ever want help, like setting anything up, let me know.
I feel like you provided a good resource for her to check out. So.
She did. She basically signed me up for therapy. And then when they so she did all the hard work for me. And then they just texted me and they said, hey, what day and time works best for you? And I was like, okay, I guess I'll give them a date and time.
You're like, that was easy.
The hard work is done. So let me check my planner.
I would say, as if I could alleviate any of it. I know sometimes it takes a lot of mental pressure to have to like set any appointments up. That's how I feel. I don't want to set up a doctor's appointment. That's like the last thing on my brain.
No, me too. I hate setting up appointments. The only reason I like have appointments is because I just have always gone to the same like dentist and the same doctor and the same, all of these things. And so every time I go, they're just like, okay, and when do you what works best for you to come back? How about this date? And I'm like, sure. And then it's in my planner already, months and months and months in advance.
Yeah.
You don't have to like provide new information, like new patient information, or get established at another office. You're just
nope.
You're
And
there.
I don't have to call to make an appointment because it's already on there. I just show up.
Exactly.
Seems like you got a good setup.
I would say it's like a well-oiled machine. You're already set up.
If I ever move, all of my body systems are going to shit.
You're like, it's over for me.
Shut down.
Okay, so if Alyssa ever says like, hey, I'm thinking about moving, we're like, maybe like rethink that for like your physical body health. Let's do that. Stay here.
Yeah. But
Well,
Kiara, what's been going on with you?
Well, I'm like getting over a sickness. I think it was just like a head cold. So for the past like week, I haven't had a lot of energy. And so for a moment, like when I wasn't having headaches, I could read. But other than that, I've been watching Game of Thrones with my husband.
yes.
We went through 2 seasons in like less than a week. So I just finished season 5. I'm going on to season 6, which I hear is, I think it's Sam's favorite season, or maybe I think that's season 7. But I think Hope really likes season 6 too.
6
so.
and 7 are like they're top tier.
Well, it better be because I'm mad. I didn't like season 5. I won't go into it, or else there will be lots of spoilers. But
Yeah.
that's been my like decompression time at home. I get home, I eat, and it's like 4 hours of Game of Thrones, which is a little much. I feel like I'm throwing it back to like college when I would watch a whole season of the Vampire Diaries in 3 days.
How did we do that?
I don't know.
Like I try to binge watch shows now and I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I'm like, I'm gonna get a blood clot. I gotta get up and walk around. I gotta do something. Gotta wash dishes,
'Cause we're
laundry
getting
to
old.
fold.
We're getting old.
My thing is, like, I can't, like, for some reason, Game of Thrones, I think it's because there's so much going on that I'm locked in the whole time. Um, and if, they're in different languages, then I have to read the screen. But when I'm watching, I can't watch movies anymore because I have to be doing something. Like, I have to be, like, coloring or, like, doing something for work or building a book nook. I have to be doing something with my hands. I can't just sit there and enjoy, which is not relaxing.
I'm the exact same way. I have to be doing something, or I'll fall asleep. I fall asleep, y'all. I feel so old admitting this. I need I need to talk about it in therapy, I guess. No.
Add it
But
to your notes app.
add it to my app. But yeah, I like fall asleep watching movies so quick. Nick gets so mad at me because I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know. It's crazy.
I'm
I
not
can read a book for
not him getting
hours.
mad at you.
I mean, he's not like, no, I'm not gonna lie. He gets mad because it's like one of his favorite things to do is watch movies. And so he'll be like,
Yeah.
will you watch this movie with me? And I'm like, sure. And then he looks over like 20 minutes in and like my head slumped back and I'm like,
Oh,
No, I cannot watch movies anymore. I can't tell you the last time I did. It's gotta have been at least a year.
that's shocking.
Yeah, and I think that's why I read so much because that's taken the place. It's like my brain is doing something, like it's moving, whereas like with TV, if they have a slow moment, I'm checked out. I'm not paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I wanted to chime in and say I don't think we mentioned to our listeners this is the first episode that we are recording where we're all in our own individual homes. We are not
Oh, yes.
together. And throwing it back to like connecting it to why Kiara is just getting over a sickness. I'm just getting over something. I swear Texas is trying to kill us. Like the wind and the pollen and dust, whatever it's throwing around. So we just to precaution ourselves because we have a trip coming up next weekend. We wanted to just keep ourselves a little safe.
Yeah, I didn't want to get anyone sick
Yeah.
and like start their sickness today because
Mhm.
mine lasted at least like 9 days.
Mhm.
So
I know. And we have to be on our best, feeling our best for next weekend because we're going to be wrecking our bodies with alcohol instead.
gosh,
We
yeah,
are.
our best friend, she's getting married in just a few months, which is
Woohoo!
crazy. So we're going on a bachelorette slash bachelor like joint trip. It's kind of like a little staycation. It's near where we reside, but we're just gonna go and do some fun things, hang out with friends. I'm really excited. I'm also really nervous.
I'm
I think
very
it'll be a great
excited.
time.
I'm
Yeah.
not nervous. We're getting a massage.
No, I think it'll be a good time. It's just been a lot of planning up until then, so it's like I hope everyone has fun. I'm gonna
Everyone
be that
will
person
have
on the
fun.
side, like, are you having fun? Are you having fun?
If
I
they're
feel
not
like you
having
definitely,
fun, they're lame.
Kiara, you definitely have done a lot more of the planning than we have. I feel like we've just sort of helped with ideas. You've been the one that's been like booking stuff. So I can see why you're a little stressed out.
I would say the booking part was easiest because it was like, okay, this is set in stone.
Okay, well,
I don't have to
also
worry
like
about this.
ordering all the decor and the planning, the stuff that we're going to be doing at the Airbnb and stuff. Like you've done a lot of that.
Oh, thanks, pal. I feel like we've definitely all like talked through what we want, and so now it's just like once we get there, it's go time. I'm excited for us to. I think we're all three driving up together. We still have some logistics to figure out, but overall,
Mhm.
I'm excited for
Yeah,
it. I think
I
that
meant to get
all
with
three of
y'all
us are.
about the logistics of driving up there. So, when we hop off this, I'm gonna need clarification about next weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We won't bore you
Mhm.
with the details.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's really our updates. But I think what I'm most excited to hear about from you guys is maybe like what you're currently reading, what you have your eyes on. I know that both of you recently like went to bookshop, so can we get like a haul? Like what do we got going on in the book world?
Goodness.
Yes. I'll go
Other
first.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Go for it, Alyssa.
I'm just really excited because I went to Half Price Books today and I made out like a bandit. Let me tell you. I usually don't have very good luck at Half Price Books, but today I got 6 books. I found many more, but I'm a girl on a budget, so I only got 6.
The
Yeah, you had to
self-control.
exercise some restraint. Yeah.
Yes, I
I
had
have
to.
none.
I had to like compare what was on Kindle Unlimited and compare prices on Amazon and stuff like that. But I
I do
got some
that too.
Emily Henry books, which I know Kiara's a big fan of. So
Yay!
I've been wanting to get into that. Um, so I got Book Lovers and Beach Reads, I think,
I have
were the
both
2
Yeah.
of
I
those
found.
as well.
I would say
So,
Lovers is my favorite.
mhm.
So I'm really excited that that was one of them that you got. And then Beach Read is like the like one that everyone loves. So
Yeah. So I
I'm
found
excited.
those. I got Credence by Penelope Douglas. And let me tell you, I'm very excited to read it because it is kind of famous on TikTok for being
I've
pretty
I've read it.
wild.
I've read it.
I've read
Y'all
it.
have read
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Like a
you like
long
it?
time
I
ago.
read it years ago.
I mean, I read the whole thing. I didn't give up on it. I was entertained, but I know that people have very strong opinions
I
either
know.
way.
I've heard
Um,
that.
I think I read
So,
it in like the era that I read like what was it Den of Vipers or something like that?
okay.
I read it
okay.
in that era. It gave
That
me
book was
similar
a
vibes
fever
and
dream.
feels. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I got the same vibes of like fever dream when I was reading Credence too.
That book, I remember reading that book and being like, this is so bad. I can't put it down.
I haven't read Den of Vipers. I actually own it, but I never read it. But Credence was, I think it was my first Penelope Douglas book. And so I must have liked it enough because I went on to read the entire Devil's Night series after the fact,
I
which
love
I
the
love
Devil's
Devil's
Night.
Night. I
I
don't know if I feel as
love the Devil's
strongly
Night.
about Credence by any
Well,
means.
I'm excited because I don't know. I've heard a lot about Uncle Jake, so I feel like it was time for me to meet him. So
Wow, that book really was a fever dream.
Yeah.
Like there so much happened
For
in
sure.
that book.
Yeah.
Wow.
my husband
I
read
don't think that you're gonna like the I don't think you'll like how it plays out, but I'm
Mm-mm.
excited to see.
well,
You'll be
yeah.
entertained. Like I think you're gonna like the experience, but I wonder like towards the end what your thoughts will be.
My husband read the back of the book and he was like, what the is this? And I was like,
Oh,
just put it
that's
in the cart, baby.
hilarious.
Just put it in the cart.
Don't worry about it. Shh.
Literally. You're gonna like it later. I'm just kidding. But
You'll have to let us know when you read it. I'm so excited.
yeah. So I'm excited about that one. What other? Oh, and then I also found y'all know that I love The Ritual and The Sinner and that whole series by Chantel Tessier. So, I found those in really good condition for cheap. So I bought those, just the first 2 they had
Nice.
to add to my bookshelf as trophies because I read them
Trophies.
on Kindle Unlimited.
That's
But
great.
I was very excited about those.
And that'll be good for a reread because I know you were wanting to reread the Ritual.
I
This
will be
year.
rereading that soon. I have so much to read. It feels
Same.
overwhelming.
Like just the Throne of Glass series for me, not even including all the other books, feels overwhelming to me, but we shall persevere.
We have to read that this year. I love those books. I'm
I
literally
was Oh,
I'm
I was
in.
just wondering what was like on your radar like for like the near future, because I know that those are all on your radar for this year.
Mm-hmm.
But like
Oh, okay.
what are we in the mood
Yeah.
for?
So I tried to do a couple of palette cleansers after we finished um the whole Fourth Wing Iron Flame Onyx Storm thing, because that
Mhm.
broke my brain. I was in a deep dark hole with those. So
I don't
we
blame you.
I read Flawless. I finished Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I actually at half price. I went there today as well, not with Alyssa, surprisingly. um,
I beat
I
her to it.
actually, yeah, I found the
Yeah.
fifth book, Hopeless, to complete my set of those. Um, and then I've read a bunch of like Kindle novellas, just like little 150 200 page books that I just read in a night because that is what gives me serotonin. I think I've read 5 of those. And then also our book of the month that we'll be talking about next episode. That's what I've been reading, but I'm staring at my bookshelf right now, and I think what I want to read next is like some sort of, I'm feeling like a sports romance, and I really want to dive into Deep End by Ali Hazelwood.
Yes.
Yes.
And pun intended with dive in.
That's a good one. I think Alyssa read Deep End like
Yes.
closer to when it came out,
Yeah.
and got me excited for it, and I read it last week or like 2
What
weeks ago or something
What
like
were
that.
your thoughts, Kiara? We didn't even discuss that.
I know, and I'll do like a vague thought. I enjoyed it. I haven't read a book like it, like what's talked about, which
Mhm.
I thought was fun. Like I've read so many books at this point, if you can like throw something in there that I haven't seen before, I want to hear, you know? So the
Mhm.
dynamic between the characters is what felt new to me. I was like, what is going on? Like it was hard for me to keep up.
I agree. It
Interesting.
felt like awkward, which I feel like made it a little bit more realistic because it was so awkward that I was like, this is actually how it would play out. Probably
Especially
in
in
real life.
college. Especially in college, I could totally see that happening. Even though it felt wild to me, I was like, you know, some people are probably acting like this.
Yep. They're acting
So
like that. Yeah. You should read it, Hope.
I think that's going to be my next one that I grab.
I definitely like the
Yay.
male main character. I
Lucas.
thought he was very like upfront with you, honest. There was no guessing really when it came to him. That
He
was
was like
my perception of him.
he was like so calm, cool, and collected, and like he just like showed all his cards right from the beginning. And I liked
Yep.
that.
hmm
There was
So
no
I'm
there
excited
was
for
no
you to read it, Hope.
Thank you. I'll let you know how it goes. What are your recent reads or upcoming thoughts on what you're doing?
Were you talking to me or Alyssa?
Well, we got a. Oh no, I guess Alyssa didn't say what she's planning on for next.
That's okay. You can go ahead, Kiara.
I guess I go through these phases where it's either I read like 5 to 10 Kindle books in a row, and then the next phase is like only paperbacks or only audiobooks. And recently I've been in my paperback phase, and so I'm going through my physical TBR. I think I read Deep End, and then I finally read Funny Story by Emily Henry, because the thing about Emily Henry books is they come out and they only come out in hardback. And I
Mhm.
have 5 books at this point that are paperback. I'm not buying the hardback. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. So when Funny Story came out last April, I had to wait a whole year. So I just
Ugh.
got it. I read it. It's like kind of fun, a fun tradition at this point. So I'm okay with it. Um, but I read that, and she has another one coming out in April called A Great Big Beautiful Life. So excited for everyone else to read it, but I won't be seeing it until next March, unfortunately.
It's so painful to have to wait for a paperback.
Why do authors do that? Can we like revolt and make it to where they make the paperbacks at release as well? Because
Same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love paperbacks. I don't know what the hype is about the hardbacks. I love paperback books.
The
You know who
hardcovers are
doesn't do that?
beautiful.
Abby Jimenez. She releases it in paperback. I love her.
That's
God
so
bless
great.
Abby Jimenez.
Talking about audiobooks, I actually found Lights Out at half price the other day too. And that actually might be one of my next ones that I wanna try doing the readathon, like read along with the audiobook for that one because I've only heard good things about the audiobook.
Yeah, because I guess that's what you're in the middle of, right, Alyssa?
Yes, that is my current read. I am currently reading Lights Out. I love it.
Yay!
I fear it'll be a 5-star. I love it so much. It's so good. I will say I do love the audiobook, but I have to read along with
Mhm.
the book for me to enjoy it. I also I can't listen to the smut scenes. I have to turn it off and read them.
What? That's hilarious.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love every other part of the audiobook, but the smut scenes I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh my god, tell us why. Like
I don't know.
what's the problem?
They're the people who read it, the voice actors are
Mhm.
amazing. But I just the things they say. Oh my gosh. And I don't know. They just don't say it how I imagine the characters would say it. Also, like I feel like they read so slow on like one, so I speed it up when I'm listening to it. But then on the smut scenes, I feel like I can't like get the right pace. Like at one, it's too slow, and at 1.5, or it sounds like it's like, and then he through the smut scene, and I'm like, that's too fast. One is too slow, so I just read those myself.
Honestly, I respect it.
Mhm.
So
That's so funny.
I
You gotta
just
do what you gotta do.
yeah. While I do enjoy this audiobook, I just am not an audiobook girly. I don't know what it is. I I don't think I'm going to be sticking to the audiobooks in the future. But
Yeah, just like the outliers, like the ones that people like always talk about, like
I was
Lights
gonna say,
Out.
yes.
I do think this one was a good one to give it a shot for, though.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I will finish it the way I started it, but yes, Lights Out is my current read. I feel like March has been like a really good reading month for me. I've read quite a few books.
Mhm.
Um I read the Abby Jimenez book that we read. I read Wild Side by Elsie Silver.
Mhm.
Another 5-star read by my girl. I love her books. I don't know what it is. And I'm so excited because she already announced
The next one.
the next
Is that the one with the
Yeah.
purple cover that y'all sent?
yes, it's an
Yes.
That
age
one's
gap.
beautiful.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I know when I read like um what the next trope was going to be while I was reading Wild Side, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh." I'm
I
so
love Wild
excited.
Side. It was so
I
wholesome. Wild Side was so wholesome.
mhm. I like seeing how like the differences between what makes the characters like the dads, the single
Yeah.
dad or the dad bowling club or whatever. Like all of their stories so far are so different.
I know. They're not like traditional dads. And I
Mhm.
like it. Well, West is. But
Yeah. Just
the
single
other
dad,
one,
yeah.
yeah, the other ones are like not like the traditional definition of dad, and I like it.
I do too. So, Hope has a long ways to go to get there, but I think that it's going to be a fun and enjoyable ride, and I don't want her to like rush through it. I want you to enjoy every second of Elsie Silver.
I need
Well,
somebody to come like steal my TV out of my room or something,
On it.
so that way I'm not like, cuz I have a really bad habit. I'll come home from work, I'm so exhausted, and I don't want to pick up a book for some reason. That's just where I'm at, which is why I read a lot of those little novellas. But I need someone to come steal my TV so I can hop on my my reading some more.
It's already done. It's in the back of my car.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. I feel like an old person because I literally I can't do noise. I can't do noise. I don't like TV. I don't listen to music. Like when my husband is at work all day and I'm home alone, like it's silence. And then he
I
comes
sit in
home.
silent. Yeah.
I sit in silence all the time. And then he comes home and he's like, "Hello? Is anyone alive?"
I guess I'm the opposite because I always have like a soundscape on my TV, or I love reading while listening to music. I love getting ready while listening to music.
I don't know how you do that. Sometimes I just sit in the car in silence.
I do that too. If I've had a day, I just drive. Don't turn the radio on, don't nothing.
My brain
now
is
I'm
too
wondering like
loud.
how much of my life I live in silence, because I think it's significantly less than you two.
No.
Like I
can't.
always have something going.
The stimulation is too much. Like sometimes like my husband will come home and he'll have a thing on the TV. He'll have like a YouTube video going on his phone at the same time. And like he has a ringer on his phone. He's a psychopath and doesn't have his phone on silent. And like he'll be getting text messages and it's like ding ding ding, and then like
So does
the
Hope.
YouTube
That's
video's going and the TV's going, and I'm like just sitting there like I, I, my brain is short circuiting. And he's like asking me a question and trying to have a conversation, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Turn something off.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But
That's understandable. I relate very much to that.
I just can't.
I think on the topic of Elsie Silver, before we run away, I finished reading her first series, which is one where I went back to like her back catalog and read all of those.
I haven't read those
I really
yet.
enjoyed it. Well, because the reason I avoided it for so long was because like I found her at Chestnut Springs and I was like, I can't go back because I met her here, and those are like the books she wrote beforehand, and I was just like scared that I wasn't gonna like them, that like maybe she gets better throughout time and I'm meeting her here, so I don't want to go backwards. But I think it's so fun because not a single damn one of her books is the same. Like I run into people who do like this, like where they live in the same town and they're all friends and there's 4 different books, and I'm like, I just read the same book 3-4 times. But never with her. She has new ideas every single book, and so she's so good.
I know. I'm panicked because like what is she gonna do next? You know? Like she better
have
not
you
stop.
seen the map on the inside cover of Wildside?
Yes, there was a new town.
People think she's going to either Emerald Lake or the new town. I don't remember what it's called.
Well, listen, I don't care what she writes. She could write a book about a 75-year-old grandpa, and I'd read it. Okay.
I agree.
She can whatever she wants. She can publish her grocery list. I'll take it. I'll spend my money on it. So
yeah, that's why I can't wait for September, is when the last book in the Rose Hill series comes out, and I'm very, very excited for it, and then to see what else she does.
Yeah, I haven't read her first ones either. I also met her at Chestnut Springs. I'm like saving them because I'm just like, what if I become like emotionally distressed and the only thing that can bring me out of it is an Elsie Silver book?
Which is what happened with me after Onyx Storm.
Yep.
Exactly. So like I feel like I have them in my back pocket as like antidepressants, you know, like when I
want to
need
leave
one.
that in the tool chest. Yep.
Yeah, I can whip it out and be like, I will not let depression win today. Yep.
Yeah. That is great.
Tell your therapist that.
I will. I'll tell her.
Perfect.
She can diagnose me.
I don't really know what I want to read next. Like what's like next up on the docket. The world is my oyster.
I think I'm going to be doing Credence next, just because I'm so excited that I found it. But I don't know. I have so many things I want to read. I want to reread The Ritual. I want to do. I picked up a Megan Quinn book today. Which I know that she's like a popular author. I have the Emily Henry books. I really want to read Red Rising,
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
series.
Didn't your husband read that?
Yes, he read that and he's like dying for me to read it. And he, in fact, he said if he reads that or if I read that, he'll give one of my series a chance.
Oh,
Which
which one
one?
would you
Which
make him
one?
choose?
I don't know. I feel like it's so mean to start with Throne of Glass because it's 7 books.
You could
But I
probably
think he'd
start with
appreciate
Fourthling.
that.
I know. I'm like, but I think that's the one he would like the most of all
I
of
think so
them.
too.
Throne of
Mhm.
Glass?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think he would like that the most.
Yeah, I
But
think he'd appreciate it, and then he'd yap with you and like gossip with you about like who he likes and who he
I know.
hates and all that jazz.
I think he would just love kale.
Do you? Do you really?
I think so.
As a kale lover, that warms my heart, but I
I
just
love
never
kale.
believe it. I know you do, but I just hate how so many people hate him.
I just know that he's gonna be so upset. He's not gonna
Oh
want to
my
go
God.
past book 3.
I can see it all in my mind's eye right now.
I know.
I'm such a mood
So-
reader. Like I'll say I want to read something next, and then by tonight, once we're done with this, and I go to pick something up, it'll be something totally different.
Exactly.
Well, just to let you know, Hope, the minute you decide to pick up Throne of Glass, I will throw whatever I am reading under the bus to reread that series with you. Because
I
I'm
really
dying
think I'm
to.
gonna start with Assassin's Blade.
That's fine. I don't care where you
Yes.
start. I'm gonna read.
I can't wait because Alyssa hasn't read Assassin's Blade. I need you to read Assassin's Blade. So if it
And-
takes Hope reading it to get you there, I'm down.
And I know everyone who loves Throne of Glass just gasped and said, "How can you love Throne of Glass? You haven't even read Assassin's Blade." I know what happens. Why would I want to
But-
put myself through that?
But you don't know all that happens.
You don't know how it
The-
happened.
I
There
don't
is
wanna
one
know.
thing that happens in Throne of Glass, one of those small stories that hits so much harder in the last book of the series if you've read that short story. Oh my God. And I know you already know about it. I know that you get it. But like to see it all come full circle.
Well, listen.
Ouch.
I think I'll wait until after. I don't want to say wait until after the wedding for Katie, because that's like middle of the year and I'm going to need more than 6 months to tackle this series. So I'm going to say
No, you
my
won't.
goal is to start Assassin's Blade after the Bachelorette trip.
That soon? This is crazy.
I'm
I
holding
need
you
to get
it.
going on it. We're 4 months in. I gotta start, or 3 months in. I gotta start
I
going
know.
for it.
I always feel like if I'm thinking about vibes of books though, like Throne of Glass as a whole feels like a fall book to me.
Yeah.
Like starting Assassin's Blade in September, like getting through. I read books fast, so it'd probably be at like the 4th or 5th one around like end of October, November. I don't know. Kingdom of Ash feels like a in between Christmas and New Year's book. Like put it right there.
I don't know. Air of
That's
Fire
just
is
like
very
in my
summer.
brain.
Air of Fire is very summer.
I know Air of Fire summer. It kind of also gives me like Halloween vibes. And I don't know where that's coming from.
Is it coming from the dismemberment?
I don't know. Just fall as overall. But
I don't know.
you let me know when you pick that up.
I really want you to read the Devil's Night series in October this year.
Okay.
I
That's
think
a
you
good
would
one.
eat that up. I think you would
A
eat
good
it
mask
up, babe.
book.
We
Yeah.
need to put it on the TBR calendar, and we'll just go ahead and set that episode aside. We'll just read them.
I would love to do an episode over the Devil's Night series because I feel very strongly about those boys and which book is my favorite and things like that.
That would definitely be a good one. Even if we just read the first one for like October, that would be a good October read. 100%.
I reread
The first one is
them.
not my favorite, but it's
I
a good intro.
Yeah, I reread them last year, but I'll reread them every year. I don't care. It's a national holiday.
There's just too many books. Not enough time.
I know, truly. But
I know. I think that what I'm going to do is, I don't know. I'm in between reading the second in a series that I loved. The first book was called Beartown by Frederick Bachman, and the second one is called Us Against You. And I found it at Half Price Books recently because Half Price Book has been like feeding all three of us recently.
Yeah.
But I also think I could be open to like a fantasy, and I'm not always like in the mood for a fantasy, so I feel like I should like capitalize. So send me
we
your
sh-
recs.
we should do a book haul where we go to like half price books, maybe a couple of half price books, Targets, Barnes and Nobles. We should do that.
That would be fun.
That
I'm
would be
totally
so
down.
fun.
I actually forgot to even say that I went to Half Price Books with Sam for our anniversary just a couple weeks ago. And I went to the one that's a little bit farther that Hope always says like has more options. It
It's
was
so
my
much
first
better.
time going there. It
And you went without me?
was. Sorry, it was the anniversary, sorry.
Whatever.
But I found this book. So it's Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. And for anyone who's heard about it, there was the original like indie covers that everyone loves so much. They're so beautiful. I'm going to see if I can grab it for the gals while I'm talking. I might not be able to. But it's so pretty. And then I love authors, and it's okay if they want to change their mind. But once she got like traditionally published, the covers changed, and I personally don't really like them at all. And so at Half Price Books, I found the original first book in the series, first like edition cover. It was like a huge find for me. And now I have it, and now I'm scared to read it because now I feel like I'm on a hunt to find the rest of the series in those original covers.
Yeah, but that's so exciting though. If you
I
tell me
know.
if you tell me the series like and or show me a picture of what I'd be looking for, I can always keep an eye out for you of them.
I'm holding it up for them right now, and it has like
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's so pretty. It has like Easter eggs, I'm pretty sure. Like all the things that are on the little cover, like they come up in the book. That's like what I've heard. I haven't read the book, so
That's
I'm looking
cute.
up what they look like now because I feel like I've like heard of the series before, so I feel like
yeah, and I think it's in pretty good condition. I mean, there's some love on here, but I think now it's my own little like mission to find the rest.
Oh, I have definitely seen the newer covers.
The new, yeah,
Like the
they're not
shoes.
my
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like random people's shoes. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot to mention that I really want to do the Binding 13 that series. I've been seeing it literally all over my For You page, and I feel like I must know. I feel like I have to.
There are so many people who love that series enough to make so many like different pieces of art and like videos and like their own little like fan cast or whatever. And I never scroll past. I always watch them.
So Kiara,
I totally understand.
I think this will make you really happy. The other book podcaster that I met at Half Price Books today, her name is Caitlin. She's a part of the Book Room pod. She told me all of the book recommendations that you were giving us because I had talked to her about the book we just read, and she was like, y'all should read Binding 13. And I said, that is like Kiara's favorite book. And I was just I don't think I've heard other people talk about it in the wild. It's not something that shows up on my TikTok or on my book talk. It's just it's not those type of books. So I don't see it. And when she told me that, I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, no, I think so many people love it, and that's why it's like it will be definitely a little heartbreaking if you guys absolutely hate it, but I feel like there's gotta be some aspects that you like, even if like it's maybe not your cup of tea. Because I totally respect if it's like you read the first one, you're like, maybe not my cup of tea. But the people who love it. So it's like one of those like diehard fandoms. Once you're in it, you're like, I love it. I'll eat. It's kind of like I'll read her grocery list, like you were saying about Elsie Silver. That's how a lot of people feel about Chloe Walsh. So
Well, I really want to read that this year as well, but we'll see. I feel like, man, all the people I follow on TikTok, they read like a book a day, I swear. They'll be like, "Oh, my March reading recap," and they're like, TikTok is like 5 minutes long, and it's like, I read this one, and 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 I'm like, I can't read that fast. Am I dumb? Or like, am I a slow reader? I just cannot absorb. I read like, I would say like a book and a half a week. So my average is maybe like 4 to 5 books a month. And I feel
Same.
like that's pretty good.
Hmm.
I think so. I think for me too, like that's when we're totally booked, which I think we have been the past 3 months. It's hard. So like I used to read a lot too, like probably I don't know. There's been some months where I've read like 15 books, but there's some months where I read one. So it
That's
just kind of depends.
nuts. I also know that that's why I really wanted to try and read audiobooks because I was like, I could read so many books if I liked audiobooks. And I just don't like it, and that makes me so sad. I like my mind wanders. Like I'll be
Yeah.
listening to the audiobook and then I'll be like come back like 10 minutes later and I'm like, "Oh, what happened? What chapter am I on? What's going on?"
Yeah.
So,
No, that's why I have to follow along, but I have tried to read audio or listen to audiobooks like in the car, and when like it's possible, like that's great, but sometimes you're like you're not fully there and you want to be, so you turn on the audiobook and then 30 minutes later you're like, "Oh, I didn't listen to any of that."
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Talking about like how quickly we read books, I will say I've read more books in these first 3 months of this year than I read total last year. So I feel like I'm
yay.
doing great.
Snaps.
Strong start.
Good job, Hope.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I think that that was a good kind of recap of our last couple weeks and also what we kind of have to look forward to as far as reading goes. We want to thank you guys for joining us as we had our Yap session and just got to catch up with each other.
Follow us on all of our socials at Totally Booked Readers so you can stay up to date on our most recent episodes and releases.
And we hope you take some time out of your totally booked schedules to join us next Tuesday for a book club episode on Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez.
Woohoo!
Bye!
Bye, all.
Bye.